All right. All right. Good morning once more and welcome to today's class. Today we are going to be teaching or guiding ourselves through version controls. Version controls, we have a lot of version controls. We have Svet, you have Git, which is the most popular one people use. But then before we get into this, I'd like to brush back from what you have done in the previous days. We've been able to cover a lot, the aspect of HTML, how to create an HTML file, how to create an HTML structure, how to write our HTML code with tags, elements, and how to have. We also jump into CSS, how to style our HTML code inline, how to style our HTML code and internal styling, and how to use the external styling for our VS Code, which we explain to ourselves why it is necessary to use the external styling, why it is very, very important to use external styling, because you don't want to have your HTML and your CSS on the same page. It's going to really look messy, right? So for that, really need to like export or take our CSS outside of the HTML. Then to do that, you just have to like create a file style.css or anything but CSS, and then you link your CSS to your HTML and then you start styling the page. So, and we've been able to explain to ourselves how to how to select an element, how to select a class, and how to select an ID. And also how to use a display of flex, how to maneuver around the display of flex to justify flex direction and alignment items, gap, and all of that. As well as last week, I think we talked about um, positioning, how to use the absolute, the relative, which we were not able to go deeper into positioning last week because of time. And I won't be going deeper. The only thing that we are going to do is we are going to be using this positioning. We are definitely going to be using all of these properties moving forward. And the more you use it, the more you use the properties, the better you get in understanding. So that's how it's going to be. Um, and yeah, please, I'll get to you very soon. Just let's calm down for now. All right. So yeah, that is it. So well, previously we've been using the code pen. We've been submitting, which I understand how CodePen could be really annoying when your code and your VS Code is working fine in the web browser, and then when you copy it to VS Code, CodePen is really, really looking different and unstructured. So, but the idea of CodePen is with VS Code, like Fleming said, everything gets easier. You have a lot of snippets where you only have to just type something and then you get suggestions, right? But then with VS Code, you don't get those suggestions. When you copy your code from VS Code and paste it on CodePen, or yeah, CodePen, yeah, the structure of your HTML gets scattered, right? So it's not left to you to arrange it properly, check what is right and what is not right. Because with CodePen, you don't get all those auto save and all those auto alignment and all those auto prettier stuff. So you have to do everything yourself. So, and it is very good for you to be able to like, okay, 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 I need an image. With CodePen, you are going to know how to type the opening tag, then the IMG, the SRC, and all of those things yourself, not like with the help of VS Code. So that's just the advantage of using VS Code. But then today we are going to be jumping into version control. How instead of using VS Code, instead of using CodePen, we're going to be using GitHub to share our link to manage our source code. All right, so and then we are going to be focusing on Git and GitHub. We have a lot of version controls, but we will be talking about that. The most popular one and the most common version control is Git and the GitHub. And I already explained, I already posted it on the group chat yesterday. That we should all try as much as possible to install, download, and install Git on our system. And I believe we okay. My internet is showing unstable. If you can see them, please raise up your hand. Let me be sure if you can hear me clearly. So system, right? So today we are going to be Git itself, how to go about GitHub. So version control, what is version control? Version control is a system that tracks and manages changes to file over time. It helps multiple people collaborate on the same project efficiently. Then version control gives a history of changes, making it easier to revert mistakes and understand project evolution. So the whole idea of version control is it actually came when developers want to start working or saving their code somewhere, right? When you write your code, VS Code, right? That is your local environment. I'm only writing my code on my local environment on my VS Code. All right. So in that case, if you don't have a flash drive to like copy your code from somewhere from your local environment, or you don't have a disk, it could not be flash drive, could be any disk to copy your code from somewhere. There's no way you can access the particular code on another system. There's no way another person somewhere can have access to that particular code. Just because, okay, I wrote this code in my local environment, then the code is only like it's limited to me only. Like it is only me who have control over this code. I'm the only one who can say it. I'm the only one who can have access to it, right? So, but then we need to like allow some other persons in the aspect of like collaborations. For example, okay, I get a job from UK, and then I'm here in Nigeria, right? Now other developers in UK, or maybe other developers in Singapore or somewhere around, that we need to work together on a particular project, right? Okay, so yes, we talked on WhatsApp, for example, or we talked on Discord, and then we were given each sprint. Okay, simple, so work on landing page. I can work on about page. This they work on this one, like that. So pages was shared, right, between ourselves. And then I decided to work on landing page, and I can work on its own about page. But then how do we bring this code together? Ayaken is in Singapore. I'm in Nigeria, right? For us to be able to bring this Ayaken page together with them, how is it going to be? It's not like we're going to share files. It's not, it doesn't work that way. Well, it's going to work fine when you, for example, after writing my home page, I extracted the page as a zip file, and then I sent it to Ayaken. Then it's going to like copy the code, which is very, very not nice, right? Like that, even Ayaken will not have like the control over the whole process. Okay, so but then because we need to collaborate. We need to work on a project. We need a platform in which we can actually, I can, after writing my code, I need a platform in which will allow me to push my code to it, store my code, or save my code inside that platform. And then my colleague in Singapore, I can also easily have access to this particular platform. It's just like having Google Drive, for example. Just you copy the link of Google Drive and send it to someone. You don't need to send your picture to that person or something. So you just upload everything you have from your end to that Google Drive. Send the person the link, and then the person can have access to everything you have in that. All right. So that's how version control works. It allows you to track when, okay, for example, I work on landing page. Let's assume you are working on your own project, you're not collaborating, right? So I work on landing page, and then I pushed it to GitHub, for example, after all my conversion out, I pushed it to GitHub, right? And then all of a sudden my system crashed, right? My system crashed, and I cannot access my code anymore. My file is lost and everything. With the fact that you've already pushed your work to GitHub, that means you stored or saved your work inside GitHub, I would say. So when you get a new system or you recover your system, you can easily fetch back that particular code that you stored before. And then everything you have then, everything you add previously is going to be the same thing. So you don't get to lose your code with the airport version control. You get to track the changes that is being made on your code. Okay, yesterday I worked on landing page. I worked on a particular section of landing page. Today I worked on another section of landing page. With the airport version control, just a command, you can see the difference between your yesterday work and today work. And then you can actually manage changes to file over time. Okay, I mistakenly delete one of my image, or let's say one of my file. I mistakenly delete it, right? If you have already integrated version control or maybe or done all the configuration, you can easily get that file back. That's how version control works. It just allows you to track changes, allows you to manage changes of file over time. So, and then it allows multiple people to collaborate. Like I explained, you can easily push it. You can push your work to GitHub. Me, I push my own work to GitHub, and then two of us we can see each other person's work easily without even needing to like send files from one place to another. So, and then version control keeps a history of changes, making it easier to revert mistakes and understand project. Like I said, for example, okay, we worked on the project again. When okay, let's not assume 23 you finish the project there, right? Or let's say you not even finish the project. You start working on the project and then your client fumbled or maybe it's supposed to pay full money and then the client decided or he failed to complete the money. So you stop. You do not continue the project. And after 5 years, the client reach out to you again. Hey, developer, please, the project that we started earlier, please, can we continue with it again? I can now balance my money so we can now have to it on our lights out or whatever it is. Then with just because you've already stored or you've put or you've like have your code, that project on GitHub, you can easily go back there, then fetch the code back, and then continue from where you start. So it's within 5 years you must have had a lot of issues, maybe change your system or change your but then you don't have any issues as far as your code is concerned. Just do anything you want to do with your system. Your code is your project is safe and secure. So that's just the idea of version control. And then there are commands in which you use to manage all of these controls, which we're going to explain to ourselves moving forward. All right, so we have Git basics. There are some basics stuff we need to understand or and know. Although it is more than this, like I said, these are just the basics, right? There are more to Git. But then as a developer, right, and the fact that you need to understand what Git is all about, you should understand that okay, every Git has a repository. A repository is like a bucket. If you are using the storage, let's say some of us, someone messaged me yesterday that he's an AWS developer, something like that. And most of us knows about those things too. So if you have been using some of those platforms, then you know what it means by a bucket. A bucket is more like a place where you store something, right? Just when you buy stuff, let's say for example, you go to ShopRite and then you buy some of your stuff. So that your basket that you carry is like a bucket. So you carry everything you put inside, right? That's just what bucket is all about. So the same thing for Git, right? A Git will always have a repository where all your codes, this particular one, is located. Let's say I have 4 projects, right? I have one project for an e-commerce to build an e-commerce website. I have another one for my own repository, like for my own portfolio. I have another one for like a sport website and another one. So, but then I cannot push all of these websites to a single repo. No, it's not going to work. Each of these projects is going to have their own different repository, right? And then they're going to have names. The repository is going to be like maybe you could say e-commerce website. That's not repository. So everything you're doing concerning e-commerce is going to be pushed to this repository. Then everything that means you can work on like 4 different projects at a time, right? You can have 4 screens and then work on these 4 projects and then push these 4 projects to your different repository at a time. It doesn't disturb one another. Each of it is going to be stored inside each of these repository. Although the repository is still located inside your GitHub, right, on your GitHub, but then we have different repositories for different projects so that we don't have conflict of codes in all of these projects. So, but then from what we have here, a repository is a directory that holds your project files and version history. That's just what I just explained. So from the repository, you can fetch, you can fork, you can do every other thing, any other thing that has to do with that your project on that repository. And then commit is a snapshot of your changes in the repo at a specific time with a unique identifier. So these are some of the commands we are going to be using. We are using Git basics. So the commit is more like okay, let's say I'm working on, like I said, I'm working on e-commerce website, right? And then the app done, for example, we are app done, or not even app done. We started working on the website, on the project, and Aya Kenny worked on the navigation bar, for example. He worked on the navigation bar. So then he decided to push the navigation bar to the repository, right? So for us that are here, for other colleagues that are not together with him, for them to understand or to know what particular project or what particular part of the project he has worked on, then there's a need for IACN to have a commit of that particular project. More like, okay, I worked on this project and then I commit it, right? That means that project is going to be there. It's not going only when maybe you made some changes to your commit. That's when you're now seeing some changes concerning that particular navigations. But as far as, okay, after the navigation, after you're done with the navigation, you did your commit and then you commit it to the repository, right? Or it could even be committing it to your own local repository, right? Because when you're working locally, that's in the local repository. It could even be committing to your own local repository that, okay, I've worked on, you can just write it. It could be anything. I've worked on so thing. I've worked on so thing. So anybody that is reading that or that is going through that your repository is going to know that, okay, Kenny worked on this particular part of the project, right? So a snapshot of your changes in the repo at a specific time. That's just what committing. You commit a particular code that you write at a particular time. And, when we're moving forward, there's something they call components. When you just write a component and then you're done with it, you send it to GitHub and then you commit it and then you send it to the GitHub with a unique identifier. With that identifier, you can fetch that particular commit back. You can make changes to it. You can delete it. You can revert it. So that's just what commit is all about. And then branch. Well, a separate line of development allowing you to work on features without affecting the main code base. A GitHub also has a branch. A branch means, well, let me use a tree as an example. The main tree is the main, for example, the main tree. And then the branches, okay. Like I explained earlier that we shared screens, right? We shared pages between Aya, Kenny, Femi, Blaze, and myself, and David, or anybody, right? So now we have the main branch, or we have the master branch, or it could be anything, right? Where everybody is going to push their work to. After the whole project is done, after I'm done with my own, after Aya Kenny is done with his own, then we are now going to merge all of these projects together in a particular branch, which is the main branch, right? That's what they call it most of the time, which is the main branch. But then for us not to have conflicts or issues of different work going to that main branch at a time, then the aspect of having different branches comes in, whereby, okay, if you are working on landing page, you are going to create a branch that, okay, a branch, you can just name the branch landing page. So your work now is going to be going to that branch where until you are done with your code, as far as you are making changes and you are pushing, you're going to be pushing to that particular branch. Since you're still working on landing page, you push to that landing page branch, you keep pushing to the landing page branch. Then when you are done with it, like, okay, maybe your master or your supervisor has checked everything and has, okay, I think your code is fine. He has made corrections and you have implemented the corrections, and then, okay, he has approved that, okay, the landing page is good to go. Then they can now decide to merge that particular branch to the main branch. So that's where the merging comes in, the next line, which is merge, right? That's when, okay, after I'm done with my my landing page, I can now merge my landing page to the main branch. The same thing as after Ayaken is done with his about page and it has been approved, right? That, okay, you are good to go with this page. Now I can now merge that particular about page to the main page. In that case, now in our main page, in our main branch, we're now going to be having both the landing page and the about page in our main branch, right? But then before all of this, we have to create a different branch to push our work to, so that there's not going to be a conflict of pushing to that particular main branch. So that's why we needed a branch. And then, with branch, when you push, let's say I'm working landing page and I push something, and then my supervisor is not like satisfied with it, right? You can just tell me, hey guy, go back to your code and fix your branch. Something is happening, and then even when you have issues, if you have too much of errors, you can easily go to your branch, not the main branch. You can easily go to your own branch, which is the landing page, and then fix anything you want to do there. So that's just the idea of branch. It's a separate line of development, allowing you to work on features without affecting the main code base. So then the next one is the merge, combining changes from one branch into another to integrate new features or fixes. Yeah, I'm working on landing header. This is the landing page. Let's say a landing page actually be shared between 5 persons, right? The header, which is the navigation. Some persons will take the logo part only, right? You work on the logo, you work on the navigations, you work on the hero header, which we explained to ourselves last week. You work on the next page like that. So in that case, when we are all done with our different branches, with our different codes, right? On our different branches, we can now merge all of these branches together to make one, which is the landing page. So that's what they mean by combining changes from one branch into another to integrate new features or fixes. All right, so now the next one is the pull request. You don't just let's put it this way. After you are done with your branch, your about page branch, after you're done with it, it is not possible for your supervisor to, well, he could actually see it, right? Your supervisor could see it, but then it is not best practice for a supervisor to just do anything on it by himself, right? It is your own responsibility to now make a pull request. The pull request is more like, okay, sir, you just like you trigger a button on the GitHub page that, sir, I'm done with from the pull request, you get to like you can even have a screenshot of what you have done, of the display of what you have done, have a screenshot or a recorded video, and then you type something, sir, I'm done with my about page. Kindly check my PR. That is your pull request. Pull request means you're asking for them to pull your branch into the main branch. So I'm requesting for my supervisor to make a pull request to pull my branch into the main branch. So that's the idea of pull request. Now, your pull request should now come with a message that, sir, I'm done with my branch. Kindly look into it, right? Or a snapshot of what your display of what is looking like, or a recorded video. So that's a pull request. And with pull request, your supervisor can now decide to write the comments that, okay, you made a mistake in so line of your code, go and fix it, right? And then since you still have your pull request on, you can just make your changes from your local environment and push it back to that your branch, and then it's still going to reflect on your pull request. So that's the idea of pull request. Well, moving forward, by the time we start using all of these things, we're going to get to understand it better. And we are going to use this thing so much. Oh Lord, we are going to use it. Like I would say, every day of our life, we're going to be using GitHub. As a developer, every day of our life, we're going to make use of GitHub. So we need to be serious about the use of GitHub. You don't even have any choice. Like you don't have any choice but to understand and know GitHub. All right. Okay, so that's the Git basics. So now setting up Git, how do we set up Git on our environment? You don't just have Git just like that because I have a system now, does not mean I have Git automatically on my system. I have to set it up, I have to install the Git and download it, right, from the official website, and then configure it on my system. And then I have to tell GitHub that, okay, GitHub, oh, this is my computer. And then anything I do from my computer and I'm pushing to you, take it as it is coming from me. So that's where the configuration of global username comes in and global user email. Okay, you're just telling GitHub that, okay, this is my username and this is my GitHub. This is my email. Now, anything I do that I'm pushing should actually be going straight to this particular account, not another account, not another person's repository. It should go straight to this account. That's where the configuration comes in, right? So we are going to jump into this immediately after we are done with the slides so that we can see how all of this works. All right, and then the last one here is the GitHub itself, right? GitHub is a platform which all of these things happen. Git is a command, I would say. Git is a command, is a CLI, is a command line interfaces where you write Git something, it's just like you writing code from your command line, okay? And then the GitHub itself is a platform, is the GUI, graphic user interface, where you see the changes, where you see all of these changes, where you see your files and all of that. For example, let me give an example of someone who is a fashion designer, okay? The display, let's say, okay, I want to design a cloth, I want to sew a cloth, right? So my backend is more like, okay, I cut the cloth, I put the cloth together, and then I do everything from the backend. And then the display is like the GUI after I'm done with the cloth, and I want to display it for people to come and see, right? That's the GUI. Then the backend is like the CLI, where it's like the Git, where you like, okay, Git add, Git comments, Git all of those things to bring all your projects together. And then when you push it to your GitHub, it's now the display, where you now display your clothes to people to come and see. So that's just the idea. Git is the control, is the CLI, the command line, where you write everything, you decide, you control, and you manage, right? So with the help of just some commands, and then GitHub is the platform where you see all of these things. That's the platform. You don't just see the changes like that. Well, there's a way you can see the changes, but the GUI for these changes, for you to be able to see it very well, that's where the GitHub comes in. So GitHub is a remote hosting. GitHub is a platform for hosting Git repository remotely. So it's just an idea for, when you're doing Git from your own terminal here, I will not be seeing it. Ayakeni will not be seeing it. So, but then for him to be able to see it, I have to push to this platform, which is GitHub. So that's why it is a GUI where other persons can see what is going on from our own side. So then we have a repository that we already explained, and then we link our remote, which is our local remote, to our repository, which is our remote repository, and then we push everything we are doing to GitHub, right? So this allows you to collaborate with others, store your code remotely, and then leverage GitHub features like issues, pull requests, and many more. So yeah, now before we move further, or I don't think we have any more, we are going to, let me ask this, right? But then we are still going to do it. How many of us, if you have installed or if you have Git downloaded already on your system, please can you raise your hand? Please just raise your hand. Let's see how many persons have the Git installed, so that we don't have to waste much time on the Git installation again. I have 43 persons here. So if we have about 40, or let's say 35 persons who have the Git installed already, then we won't do that anymore. But then if you have less than 30, okay, I have 21 now, 22, 23, 24. Okay, I think we have less than 30 persons who have Git installed already. So we are going to go through the process of downloading and installing Git on our repository. And then we are going to be checking for both Windows and iOS. Sorry, I said on our repo, on our computer. All right. So for both Windows and for Mac OS. So now let's see what we have. Git. Can you guys see my screen? All right, so you don't need to stress yourself. With the help of Google has actually made almost everything easy for for us. So I need to install Git, or I need to download Git on my system. I need to look for Git online. Just come to Google and type Git, Git. Just type Git, right? When you type Git, then you see something like this. The first one that will come to the screen is the Git, the main git.scm.com. All right, then you can click on download, or let's just click on downloads to see every of the ones that we can download. So when you click on download, just click on download. Oh, my network is really slow. Yeah. So now we have here where we can choose the one we want to download based on our operating system. If you don't have this yet, please kindly follow up right now, please. So this class may likely extend to about 1 o'clock. And likely extend to something to do after this one, right? So yeah, if you don't have it downloaded yet on your system, please kindly follow up. Go to Google, type Git and then enter, and then click on the first you see download from the first answers Google provided for you, right? Then click on downloads, which will take you straight to this screen. And then you can now decide, okay, I'm using a Mac OS, for example, then click on Mac OS. So, but then if you're using Mac OS, you need to have Homebrew. If you're using Mac, you need to have Homebrew on your system to be able to download Git. So how do you get Homebrew? It's the same process. Just go to Google still. Just go to Google still and then type Homebrew. Homebrew. Just type it, then Google will bring it for you. Let's wait, the network is loading. Yeah, this is Homebrew. Forget about all of these codes. Just focus on this one. Now this is Homebrew. So you can just click on Homebrew, click on the installation, and then you see the options we have in installing Homebrew on your Mac OS. The options you have in installing. Everything is very easy, right? And although the Homebrew may take a while to complete installation based on your network, depending on your network still, but then let's assume we are all using Windows. Let's just assume we are all using, I don't want to get into this one right now, but let's assume we are all using Windows, right? So now we click on the window. Okay, now let me just click on window. If you're using Linux, right, you can click on this one. So now this is for window. And then, well, I believe by now we all should know which bits our window, which is it 32-bit or 64-bit, right? So if you're using 32-bit, you can download the first one, click on it and download it. And then if you're using the second, if you're using 64-bit, click on the 64-bit Git for Windows setup and download it, right? Although if you download the 32, it will still work. Well, I believe it should still work, yeah, because the way Git provides its own so it's supposed to work. The setup is supposed to work both for 32 and 64. All right, so that's just when you I don't want to do the download again because I already have it on my system. Just click on it and wait for it to download. Then after the download is done, click on the setup, and then follow prompt the installation process. It's very easy. Just next, 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 and next. That's all you need to do. Just click going next, and no, that's all you need to. You don't need to do anything special while installing the Git. So well, let me ask this before we go forward again. How many of us, after downloading, I understand that okay, most of us have downloaded this thing. Have we all installed the Git on our system? Do we all have Git installed on our system? Okay. Okay, I think some persons have. Please, if you don't, okay, let's do it this way. Please, let's drop our hands, please. So if you don't have Git downloaded, raise your hand, please. If you don't have Git on your system yet, just the download, not the install. Just the download. If you don't have it installed or downloaded yet on your system, please raise your hand. Okay. Okay, you have it downloaded, but it's not installed. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so that's fun. Okay. Okay, let's just do something. All right, let's drop our hands now. Let's drop our hands. Thank you very much. Let's try something. Let's assume the problem is my system is Mac. I can't install. Okay, let me just write. It's not going to work on my system. That's just the thing. But then when you click on the 64-bit or 32-bit, and then the download is complete, the download should take about, let's say, maximum should be 5 minutes, right? So after the download is complete, now click on the downloaded setup. Click on it, right? Click on it, and then it will open a prompt, right? It's going to open a prompt for you that, okay, do you want to continue since you're using Windows? This particular setup is going to is going to do some, make changes to your computer. Do you wish to continue? Just click yes, continue, or continue like that. And then after that, follow the installation process, and then just follow it one by one and click on next, Anything you do not understand, feel free to reach out and then drop a question. Everybody should attend to you on the chat. All right. So I'm going to wait for like 5 minutes for us to do that. Just 5 minutes for us to like do that, and then we're going to continue from where we stop. Just 5 minutes. If you have any question, you can ask your question now while the installation is going on, and then what other person is downloading. So if you have any question, okay, I see 2 hands. Okay, it's installing fine. iPhone 14 Pro Max, please kindly change your name. iPhone 14 Pro Max, please change your name. Okay. Baraka and Charles, I don't know where you guys are going. Okay, I think I see 2 hands. I saw 2 hands. Okay. George Usan, George, please, can you unmute yourself and ask a question? George, are you there? Okay, iPhone 14 Pro Max, please, if you have your question, kindly unmute yourself and ask a question. Okay, Zachariah, please, if you have a question, kindly unmute yourself and ask a question. If you don't have questions, please drop your hand, please, because having your hands up is like causing confusion, right? So iPhone 14 Pro Max, please drop your hand.
Hello, okay.
Hello. 14 Pro Max. All right. So I just want everyone to be able to be on the same page as I am. Okay. Okay, George. Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, so after downloading, I just want to be sure because after I download it, I'm seeing Git, GUI, and Git and Hello? Hello,
George, where you are is echoing. We can't hear you. Where you are is echoing. We can't hear you. Zachariah, you can ask your question. You can unmute and ask your question,
George,
Zachariah.
I can't possibly hear you. That place is really noisy. Exactly. I can't hear you at all.
iPhone 14 Pro Max. If you have a question,
George,
unmute
please,
yourself.
where you are is really noisy. You can move a little bit.
Sir, please, I have a question.
Wait, before you ask your question, iPhone 14 Pro Max, kindly rename yourself.
Okay, sir.
You have been told this 10 times without number. Once you are coming into the meeting, rename yourself to the name we know, not iPhone 14 Pro Max. You want to be able to pick only the people that are in class and people that are not in class. Tomiwa, can you unmute and speak?
Good morning. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, Tomiwa.
Okay, I'm trying to download Git and I can't get past downloading it. Like every time I try to download it, it just takes me to a page that loads and then it times out.
Wow. Could it be your network?
Yet I've tried it with different network and it's still doing the same thing.
Wow. So, I think I don't really know what the course is, but can you which version is it 64 bits, 32 or 64 bits you're trying to download?
Yeah, I'm trying to download both, but my system is 64-bit.
Let's keep trying it, and if it doesn't still work, let me know. It might probably be just network or there's something blocking it. Is your firewall on? Yeah. Is your
No, it's
firewall
not.
on? That is okay. And well, it's just one of those things.
Tomiwa, just Femi, please, can you give me a minute, please?
Okay.
Femi, please, can you give me a minute, please?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Simple so.
Hello.
Are you
Okay, thank you.
stepping out or
Tomiwa, I will copy this link now. Copy link address. Okay, I'm trying to come in. Tomiwa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Tomiwa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, simple. So she can hear you if you are speaking. I think he wants to
No.
drop a link for you in the chat box from Ewa so that you can just copy the link and download it from there. Oh, simple. So it's out. Maybe it's network. Yeah, Zachariah, please ask your question.
Well, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning,
Good morning.
Zachariah.
Can you hear me, sir? So I
Yes, I
downloaded
can hear
GitHub
you.
last night and I installed it, but it's not showing like normal app I've installed on my system. Like the VS Code, I can see the app, but GitHub
Yeah.
is not showing. I don't know why.
So the thing is, for GitHub, it's not going to show like an app on your system. It's
Okay.
something that is used behind the scene on your system. So when simple, so want everybody's down. I don't want to jump the gun for simple. So it would definitely put you through how to use GitHub. You probably
Okay. Thank
just
you
have
very
to
much.
type GitHub on your, yeah, that's it. So who else has a question, please? Just raise up your hand and speak, and unmute and speak. iPhone 14 Pro Max, I think you want to be stubborn, and I will put you in the waiting room, and you'll not be able to. I'll bounce you out of this class, and you'll not be able to attend this class again. Because this is not the first time, not the second time, not the third time you are being told to change your name from iPhone 14 Pro Max. Yeah, Godwin, please unmute and speak. Godwin, oh, okay,
Yeah,
Godwin,
good morning.
good morning.
Yeah, please, am I to download the standard installer or portable?
Yeah, what did you say?
Which one, please? Sorry, can you hear me?
Just download, just, just
I
download the
said,
standard installer.
am I to
Download the
under
standard
the
installer.
standard?
Download the standard installer.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
sorry. Stancy, I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name, but you're on this current Airways. Please, can you unmute and speak?
Good morning. Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning. Please, can you pronounce the name so I don't forget the next time?
Stanislaus.
Yeah?
Stanislaus.
Okay. Stanislaus, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yes, on the last page where I have the finish button, there are two check boxes there. The first
What
one
is the
is
first one?
launch Git bash, and the second one is view release notes. Am I supposed to check the two boxes?
No, just launch. Just launch. You don't really need the release notes. What the release notes means is that there is an maybe they just made an update and you want to read about the update. That is what the release notes is for.
Okay, so I should just check the launch Git.
Yeah, just check the launch date. So it's going to launch.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, George, you actually wanted to speak the other time.
Yes, yes. Good morning, sir. My
Okay,
question
George.
is, I think it's similar to the last guy that spoke. When I downloaded, I saw
Right.
Git GUI, Git CMD, and Git Bash. So
They
I
are
just
all
wanted
the
to be sure.
same thing. They are all the
Okay,
same thing. They work similarly. There are ways you are going to eventually need them. Is for you to be able to access your GitHub from there. You're going to access your GitHub from there. So that's just it. Don't worry.
okay,
It's simple so direct you on how to go about it. You will definitely see it. You will definitely see it. And you would see how it
okay.
goes about it. Yeah, so simple so you can carry on from here.
Thank you very much for this. I'm very sorry. That was network. So I dropped the link. I don't know if you all see the link. It's just a link that, okay, it's just a direct link on how you can or where to download the, you just have to click on the name and download the stats. So I don't know if we all In case you did not see the link, I'll just copy it and then paste it.
No, the link didn't drop. The link didn't drop. You have to send it again.
Okay, so you only have to
Ray,
click on it. Hello?
Ray, please unmute and speak. Ray, unmute and speak.
On the group chat, so I don't know if you can see it now on the group chat. On the chat.
It's on the group chat now.
Yeah, on the chat
Yes,
now,
yeah.
yeah. All right, so you just click on it and then you can start downloading automatically. So, well, we won't have to wait for the download anymore. I believe we've all gotten to the. If you have it all installed already, if you have the Git installed, Godwin Omerin, please unmute yourself and ask a question, chaps. That's the last one I'll be taking now. Godwin Omerin.
Okay, thank you. Please, I'm seeing to check some boxes. Should I just keep going or I should just check some of them?
What box are you seeing? Just let me know. Can you say that?
Like additional icons below it is the desktop, then Window Explorer integration, Git bash, stuff like that. That's
If you see Git bash, you can check the Git bash.
Component should be installed. Okay, so I said the additional icons on desktop. Hello, I hear me.
Yes, you can have an additional icon on desktop, although you won't be using it at all. But if you want to have it, you can have it.
All right.
And then if you see anything like Git bash, you can check that one also. If you check everything, it doesn't really affect your system in any way. But then if you don't check it still, it doesn't affect. But ensure that you check the Git bash. That one is very, very good to have it. If you see anything like Git bash, just check it.
All right, thank you. I've done that.
All right.
Okay. Sorry. Last one. Don't create a start menu folder. Should I check that?
No, don't check it. Don't check. Check if it is don't create. Right, you can check it. But if it is create, don't check it. You don't need a start menu folder.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So who else is having any challenge? So we can move on, please. Who's having any challenge? Okay, I believe you're all good. All right. So having done that, after installing the Git on our system, right? So now let's open our terminal. Let's just open our terminal. To open your terminal, go to your start menu on your window. Navigate to your start menu. Just take your mouse to your start menu and then search for CMD. All right, just search for CMD, and then you see command prompt. You see command line, something like that. All right, then click on the CMD. That's terminal for Windows. For MacBook, just go to your Finder or go to your Launchpad. Okay, yeah, if you have the Git version already, then you are good to go. Although, yeah, just that 2.37 is fine. So let me well, the current version is 2.42. So I would advise if you can try and upgrade, you can just do how do you upgrade Git? How do you please, if you can remember how to upgrade Git, please kindly drop it on the group chat. How to upgrade the Git version. So
okay, I'll drop it now.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so if you're on Mac, so if you're on Mac, who is that? If you're on Mac, just go to your Launchpad, and then from your search, you can type terminal if you're on Mac, right? So you're going to see the terminal is going to come up. If you're on Windows, it is CMD, command line. If you're command line. If you're on Mac, it is terminal, right? If you're on Ubuntu, Linux, Unix, anyone, it is also terminal. The only one it is different. It's only different on Windows because I think everything Windows is always different. So it is CMD on Windows, right? So now you click on the terminal, just click on the terminal to open it. And then you see your terminal is going to be looking like this, right? Let me take this thing out. Your terminal is going to be looking like this.
Can I just say, sorry, Simple.
All right. All right, go on,
Who's the
please.
person that needs the update for Git? Is it Jazzy? Kamzi? Is it Kamzi? If it's Kamzi, the next thing you just have to do is just open your CMD and do Git update dash for Windows. I'll drop it so that you can always pick it up. So I just wanted to let you know. So it's going to download automatically like that. So, all right, I'm good. Simple, so you can carry on.
I believe you drop the command
Simple, so
on
you
the
can
chat
carry
so
on.
that they
Carry on,
can.
please.
Yeah. Will you drop the command on the
Yeah, I'm
chat so
dropping.
they can? Okay,
Yeah, I'm
thank you
dropping.
very much. All right, so this is our terminal, and then this is how we need to configure after installing the Git, right? We only have it installed, but then we still need to configure the Git with our GitHub, right? But then before we do this, we need to create a GitHub account. I should have said it yesterday. All right, we need to create a GitHub account because for us to be able to configure our Git, we need to have a GitHub account. So we are going to be configuring the Git to the GitHub account. All right, we have to configure the Git to the GitHub account because from the GitHub account, we get our username and the email address that we use in the GitHub. If you have the GitHub account already, then that's fine. And then if you don't have it already, you can just, as we've been doing, right, go to your browser and then the address bar, just type github.com. github.com from how just the way I have it on my screen. github.com. Then enter. Okay, so I will have to log out. This is my own account. Let me log out. Sign out. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like when you open the GitHub. This is just the landing page for github.com. All right, now we need to create an account with GitHub so that we can configure our Git from our computer to this GitHub platform, right? So then to do that, just normal sign up process is nothing different. Just click on the sign up and then wait for it to open. So yeah, you're going to see input your email address. So let's wait for it to load and then we'll see what we're supposed to input here. All right, so welcome to GitHub. Let's begin the adventure. So the first thing you need to do is to enter your email address. Then after inputting your email address, let's say Kode for log, just for example, at gmail.com. The normal sign up process for any website. So now let's click on continue. And then now you now create a password, just a unique password. You can use the password that you've using before, or you can have a different password for this one. So, and then after that, well, I don't want to create this account because I already have an account already. So just the process, let me see what I can do. CAB. Okay. All right. So now I have a strong password, and I can click on continue. And then you can now input your username. Ensure that there is no space, although it's not going to allow you to put space though. But the username should not have any space. You can use Aya Kenny just like that without space. David Doze, you can use Charlie, just anything without space. That is what is going to accept as your username. So for example, let me say Simple Soul. So you can use something like this, having a dash or an underscore, right, as your username. So Simple Soul, continue. And then let's see what we have next. Username is not available. Okay, I didn't say that. I believe probably because I've used this before. So let me just try something simple. So username may only contain alphanumeric character or single hyphen. Okay, simple. What did I use? Simple so 96. 96. So simple so 96, then this one is available, right? Now I can now click on continue, but I don't know what will happen next. If this is going to register me, which I don't want. So let's just follow the process, the normal sign up process for Facebook, for Instagram, and any other account that we mostly sign up for. Then after we are done, then the account is going to be created, right? So, but then you are going to, although you are still going to be able to access your username and your email address, but then I'll advise that you just copy your email and your username somewhere, right? So that we can use the email address and the username to configure our Git on our local computer. So now let's do that as soon as possible. Also, we are going to wait for about 5 minutes for that to complete, and then we'll continue from there. Thank you very much. If you have any question while going about the registration and sign up, feel free to raise your hand or drop your question on the chat and we'll attend to you. Thank you.
Yeah, Zakaria, you're saying after the CMD, what are we to include any other thing? Like, can you unmute to speak so that I would know where the question is coming from?
Okay, good morning. Can you?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I have a GitHub account already. So after the command on window, I thought you said you have to press something like GitHub update also, but I did not get that when you said.
Okay, the thing is, you have Git installed on your system. Is it up to date?
Yes, it is up to date, sir.
What version is it? If it's up to date, then you just have to register your email and stuff on it. You don't need to do Git update. It was because the person does not have the updated the person that asked, it was Kamzi. He doesn't
Okay.
have the updated version. That was why.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Barakat, you're saying you can't, you're unable to download Git on your system. What could be the issue? Could it be your network? Could it be your network? Barakat, what is it? What options is it giving you? What is it saying?
The page is not working.
It's not working. The page is not coming up or it's not downloading from the site.
It's not downloading, but it keeps telling me this page isn't working. If the problems continues, contact
I,
the
I
site.
it might be it's network issue. Just type Git. Just type Git on. Just go to another tab and type Git. Just go to another tab and type Git. That's just it. It's going to open. It's just network messing with you. That's just it. Tomiwa, have you been able to download it?
Download.
No, I haven't.
What is it still saying?
Just saying this site can be reached.
This site can be reached. It's probably network. It's network. It's network. What network are you using?
I'm using Ethel.
It's network. It just keeps loading infinitely, but it's going to come up. Just try. Just keep trying it. It's definitely going to come up. I'm sure about that. It's network. I want to say this site can be reached. It's network. Just spending the time it downloads so the page comes up, and you can just follow. And let me try it from my end also. Let me try from my end to see. Augustine. Augustine, just unmute and speak. Yeah, no, I guess it's your network. No, I guess it's your network. I just opened it now. Augustine, are you handling a creeper or something? I think it's the network from here because I just tried. I'm just trying to download it on my own system here, and it's actually going through. So. Oh. Or should I ask, is it the standard version or the portable version you're trying to download? Is it standard? You try downloading the standard. If you try downloading the standard and it's not working, you can download the portable version if that will work. But I've not tried that portable version before. I just tried the standard version. So if the standard version is not being able to download, you can try download the portable version if it's going to work. Yeah, Kemi, please unmute and speak.
Okay.
Kemi, you are speaking. I can't hear you.
I was thinking of if we can drop for those that are the latest version, if you can drop it on Zoom, but it says restricted by your admin. Can you hear me clearly now?
I can hear you. You can drop a message now. You can drop a message on the chat box.
Okay. I said I wanted to.
Yeah, simple. So, is it still loading or is your network?
Femi, please, I'm still with you guys. I need to allow you to attend to them. That's why I've not been.
Okay. Yeah, Patrick, you have to create a GitHub account if you don't have a GitHub account. You have to. Yeah, Austin, I can hear you, so you can speak now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm seeing something like how many team members will be working with you after signing up. Should I use just me or?
Just use just you for now. You're still going to work as a team, but just use just you for now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Barakat, you are done downloading. Install it. Install it on your system. Just install it on your system.
Okay. All right. So now let's move to the next thing. If you're still having issues, feel free to ask the question on the chat, then we'll attend to you. But then now we have to move forward to the next thing. After creating your account on GitHub, and then you've been able to like copy your email address and your username somewhere, you can sign in as student or anything, just whatever it is you want. But you can use student for now if you're still a student. Well, we're all students, right? So just go up with the student for now. All right. So after the sign up process is successful and then you see your account, right? You can either go to, let me sign in here. Let me just ignore this. Yeah. Okay, so you can either go to your profile, just you see your image or an avatar. If you don't have your image yet, you see an avatar by the right corner of the screen, right? Just like where you used to have the user image or user profile image, this small rounded image by the right, just here. Then click on it, you see your username. This is your username, official simple, just like I have it here. So you can have the same thing. Your name is also going to be located, or username is going to be located somewhere there. And then if you can't find it there still, just click on your profile, and then that will bring up your email address and then your username. So here you have your email, your username here. Then you can enter your settings to see your email address and other things. But then, like I said, you don't have to go through all of these things if you have already copied down your email address and then your username. So then after doing all of those, okay, after doing all of those, now let's go back to our command line, our terminal, our CMD or our terminal, right? So now let's assume, okay, this is my terminal. So the first thing you need to do, we need to configure, let's check the Git version first. So at least be sure that, okay, we have the Git version here on our system. So how do we do that? Let's do git -- version. So now with this git -- version, Git, let's learn how to write all of these things down, right? You can just write it down so you don't have any issues. So Git, since we installed Git, right? Now everything we are going to be doing is going to be based on the Git. All right, so we're going to be using the git command for everything we're going to be doing concerning GitHub. Sorry, that was a error. So now, the first thing I need to do is to check my Git version, right? This is my computer, and then I'm already on my, well, I won't be able to like go through how to maneuver the CMD, the terminal right now, because we don't need that. Let's just focus on how to use the Git first. So git -- version to check the version of our GitHub, our Git on our system. Then after that, you see the next line is now Git version 2.40.1. So at least since the latest one is 2.43, let me see if I can also do some upgrade from the command Please drop for us on how to upgrade our version. So let me, where is the chart? Let me look for it. Okay, okay, this is for Windows. Then I'll find a way to update mine later, but then this can still work since the latest version is 2.43, and then I have 2.40, so this will work perfectly fine. All right, after taking the version, now I need to configure. All right, how do I configure? The first thing you configure is your username, and then after the username, you now configure your email address also. Although you can configure email first and username anyhow you want to do it. And the command line to do that is git config -- global user.name, then your username. So from the slide that we have here, I think I wrote it somewhere there. Yeah, this is just it. Git, that means you are telling Git configure this information that I want to provide globally. Git configure the information that will be coming next globally. Okay, what information do you want to configure globally? Username. That's why we have user.name, and then you now put your name, right? Then the next one is git configure -- global user.email, then your email. All right, so that's just the command. So we are going to try that also. Git config -- global user.name, then into a string you now put your username. That will be official -simple -so, then close it. So this is the first configuration. After checking your version, then we need to configure our username to our local Git. So you do git configure, which is the config -- global. That means configure this thing globally, right? Then what am I configuring globally? It is my username, which is the user.name. And then don't worry about the user.name, this username. That's how it is written, right? User.name, then official, then inside the string, make sure you follow the spaces. All right, don't write git together with config. Give a space between git and config and global and username, and then your username itself. Now let's do this and then press enter and see what we have. All right, that's it. If you don't have any error, that means you are good to go. Git config. Make sure your username is correct with what you are putting there. If it is not correct, it's not going to work. So git config -- global -- username, then your username. All right. Then the next thing is the email address, which we are going to follow the same process. So git configure -- global. Still, I want to configure my email address globally. I want to configure my email address globally. Then user.email, then my email address in a string. Abdurrahim Sheridan @gmail.com. So then this is my email address. Git configure -- global. That means configure this thing globally. What am I configuring globally? My user email. And then what is my user email that I want to configure globally? Then you pass it as a string, right? A string, well, let's not go there yet. Just pass it as a string as you follow, right? So Abdurrahim Sheridan @gmail.com, and then press enter. So fine. That means both our email address and our official and our username has been configured. So now let's do okay. No, this is not it. Then after that, we can now, that means we are done here. We are done. But then I need to check something, how to list the commands, the configuration that I've just done. That's why I'm trying to check git -- lists. I mean, I can't remember how to list. Okay, well, I think I can't remember how to list the configuration that we have right now. It's supposed to be git -list or --list or come. Let me try something. Okay, so it should be git config. That means git configuration --list. I think I'm all right. So I think I missed the config. Now we have you can see that okay, my user.name is now equals to official simple so, right? And then you can now see that the user.email is equal to Abdurrahim Sheridan @gmail.com. So if you can't see any of these two, then that means you're not doing it right. So you have to you have to see user.name and then the name that you passed, and then user.email and then the email that you passed. All right. If we are together, okay, I think someone, Charles Adina, please unmute yourself and ask your question before we move forward. Charles Adina.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, Simple So. Please, my own is not working. What I'm getting is this version is not recognized as an internal or external command.
Okay.
And operating using batch file is not working.
Okay, I don't think you. All right, so this is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to be. Okay, is anyone having the same issue? I'll get to that.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Telling us. All right. I think you have to get now. I think we have bash. Did you all like check for bash when you were doing the installation? Did you all like check the git bash during the installation, right? You guys all did that.
No. Yes, I didn't check any. I didn't check my batch or batch. I just pressed next, and it was.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right, let's do this. Go to your start again, your start menu, and then type bash. Yeah, just type type bash and see. Let's see what we have. We have to locate where the bash is, because if you install the git, then you should have a git bash instead of using your terminal. Sorry, I missed. I always forget that you guys use Windows. So now you have to use your git bash to be able to do all of this configuration. All right, so now this is what you're going to do. Go to your start menu and look for bash. Femi Blaze, I don't know if you're on window and you can share your screen to show us this thing. I would really appreciate that, because this is Mac and I don't know how to explain that to them. like that. But then
Yeah,
that's
what is
that.
that, please?
Okay, so they have to like do the configuration on the Git bash instead of their main CMD. So I don't know how do we
Okay.
start using the window. So if you can drop the navigation, then I would really appreciate. But then for now, you guys can go to start menu and search for Git bash or look
Yeah,
for bash.
if they search their this thing, if they do Git bash, it's going to come up.
Exactly. Okay, so
Bash
just look for Git
Git
open the
bash
bash.
CMD Git GUI. Just use Git bash because most of the time you have to first configure from Git bash before your command prompt to be able to use it. That's one of the issues. Yeah, so just click on Git bash and it's going to come up. Click on Git bash.
So if you've been able to see the Git bash, the interface is a little bit different. The coloring is like something.
Yeah, the coloring is just different, but they are still the same Git.
But then it's still the same command.
And then, yeah, they are still the same command. It might just be some kind of slight changes, like if you want to list something instead of, I think Mac is LS, Windows is DIR.
Yeah.
So and sometimes LS actually work on Windows. Sometimes it doesn't. So those are just the few things that is there. But anytime you need anything, I can always drop for Windows.
All right, sir. Okay, so are we together? Have we been able to Charles, were you able to locate the Git bash?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Then say, are you good with the Git bash?
Yes, I've seen the Git bash. I'm trying to put in the command if it will respond.
All right, thank you very much. So remember the command git -- version. That's the first thing. Check your Git version. Then after that, git config. Let me just so that you guys can see it. So this is it on the screen. I don't know how to zoom this, but this is it on the screen. Git config -- global. You can even write it down so you don't forget, right? In case you want to tell someone or explain it to someone some other time, feel free to write it down. Git config -- global user.name, then your username. Then the second one, git config -- global user.email, then your email address. Then after doing all of this, then to confirm that the configuration is successful, you have to do git config -- list. Git config -- that means list my configuration for me. Then you see your user.name and user.email address. Elijah, okay, Elijah, ask a question. Elijah.
Has been disconnected. Is it on the window that you are just saying now?
Yeah, this for window. Yeah, it's the same command for window, and this git command is the same command for window and Mac. The only thing different.
Okay, so just put it on my batch, it will display the way yours is displaying now.
It doesn't have to be the way mine is displaying. It doesn't have to be displayed, but at least you're going to see the expected output. Like if you do your configuration, you don't get any response from there. So if you do your git config global username, you don't get any response. You're just going to like go to the next line, okay? Then you do the next one. But for you to confirm that both configuration is successful, you have to do git config -- list. Then with that command, we are going to come again.
Okay, for us to confirm, we are going to do deep.
Git, not deep. Git, G-I-T. G-I-T. Okay. Yeah, it is on my screen. Just check the screen. That's the fifth line to the end. Fifth line to the end. Git config -- list. So then you're going to
okay.
Yeah. So are we all together? Are we good? Is it Bang Matthew, your question?
To do the git config at our root directory, at our root.
Okay. Is it Bang again? I can't hear that. I didn't get it.
Yes, I need to do the git config at our directory, like the root.
Yeah, root is fine. Just as soon as you open, you don't have to don't navigate to any place. Don't change directory, don't do anything. Just continue with what you have. That's your root directory. So already when you open your git bash, it is automatically on your root directory. Then you can continue with the git bash and anything. Are we good? All right, George. Is it wrong? You just drop your hand so that we can.
Hello, sir. So I've been,
Alright.
I think I've tried configuring it, but mine, are we supposed to use that official before our username, or the official is part of the username? Because I use official.
No. Official is my own. Like I said, copy your username. It can be anything. Official is my own name. That's my username. You made a mistake. You don't have to put official now. It's supposed to be your name.
I made a mistake.
Okay. How do we update that? Can you? Well, I don't really know how to. Okay, just run the command again. Let's see if it's going to run the command again. Git config -- global user.name. Then your username. The official is part of my own username. That's why it's there. All right. Then after you do it, ensure to do your git config -- list to be sure of what you did. Okay, Edo, your question.
Please, my command prompt. I'm using Windows. It's not showing like all the this thing commands on your own initially. So I'm confused.
Okay, sorry, don't use my own command line to determine your command line. I have a lot of
Please, this last message I sent to you. So this last message, please, how can I? Because I'm trying to this. I don't know what it's called, but I'm trying to put this on my laptop, but I don't know which button I should press that is to come out. Because I'm pressing the button, it's saying username, it's not the exact button. So this one should I press?
All right, calm down. Let me attend to the previous person, please. Okay, Elijah. I think. Oh no, sorry, Edo. Don't worry about all of these things. These things are different command. Are just something that I've installed already on my system. So your own can be empty. Your own could be very empty. So don't worry about it. Just what you need to focus on is what you are doing currently. All right. So that's just it. Don't worry about all of these things here.
So immediately I open my command prompt. What
I didn't get that.
Immediately I open the command prompt. What next?
What next?
Yes.
I said it now. It shouldn't be a command prompt if you're on window. Were you together with us? Although you like commands, you now come back and start dragging us back. I don't like it. If you were together with us, right? What you're supposed to do is look for bash, not your command prompt. Look for your git bash because it's not going to work on your command prompt. If you're on window, go to your search menu, your window. I don't know, your window by the left. Then search for git bash. Okay, when you search for git bash, then it's going to open the bash command line prompt. Okay, and then you can now continue by doing git -- version to check your git version first. Okay, and then after that, you now do your git config like I have it on my screen, right? So I will clear this thing and then I will make it clear to you guys what to do. So just follow what I have on my screen.
All right.
Okay, so the first thing is git -- version, or let me not use this anymore. I don't have to run it twice. Let's go to our so the first thing is git. Okay, just focus on the last theory. Git -- version. So this is the git version. That's the first thing. Then the git config -- global user.name, then your username, then git config -- global user.email, then your email address. So there shouldn't be space by here. So then I'll just give 2 minutes to do this and then we'll move on to the next thing because we're already running out of time. Just 2 minutes to do all of this. Okay, the person that I'm sorry, let me check the chat and see what your question is. Yes, your GitHub username at Baraka. Your GitHub username. Thank you, Jizzy. Just you feel free to ask some questions. Thank you very much. Okay. I said I'll change my system. Yeah. All right. Someone asked. Okay. Ati, right? Ati, come on. Yes, that's
yes,
what I
I'm
said.
here.
Okay, that's why I said you have to use your Git bash, not your CMD, not your computer window prompt or yeah, not your command prompt. Search for Git bash. Just open your
Yes,
start menu.
I've seen it.
You've seen it, and then is the command working now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, fine. Elijah, what is wrong with yours?
Mine is not working. No, it's showing command not found.
Are you using your Git bash?
Yes, I'm using bash.
That means you don't have the installation done properly. If you have done it properly, then it should work fine. Okay, so Elijah.
It's the same thing with mine.
What is yours saying too? Not found?
A command not found.
Not found. Somewhere.
Okay, how do we know if the command is working? That's why I said that after
uninstall and reinstall again.
No, you don't have to do that. Just if your installation is successful, right? You navigate as far as you can see your Git bash, right? As far as you have your Git bash there, then your Git bash version. Remember, it is Git, and don't put spacebar before or after before it. Git, then spacebar, then -- version. Git -- version. Don't put spacebar before it. Git -- version. It should work if you have your Git bash working. Because for you to have your Git bash, that means you have your Git downloaded. Why is everyone having? Okay. How do I share my screen to explain this? Yeah, it has been pasted already. All right. So let's try that. Avoid spacebar before the Git. All right. Just as soon as you open your Git bash, the first thing you need to type is Git -- don't even use spacebar or anything. Git spacebar -- version. Avoid spacebar before the Git. Okay. So that's how it's supposed to be. Let's not get it confused. All right. Git -- version. Okay, red gem is fine. So who else? What are we still facing the same problem?
I get it now.
All right, thank you. So who else?
Not found.
George, we can basically hear what you said. So what did you say?
I said mine is showing that the key does not contain. That's my username.
Maybe you're using the wrong username. Check your username.
Okay, please, Mr. Simple, so can you go back to your own command prompt so that you're clear? Let me see if I can select your thing.
See the command here on my screen here. This is what you're looking for, right? Git version, git config -- this is it on my screen. So you only have to add this. This is not single git, single dash. It's double -- okay, thank you, Baraka. Thank you. No. The second one is wrong. The first one is the correct one. Git spacebar then -- version. Exactly. The second one is wrong. The first one is right. Let me know if you've been able to get the version at Baraka. Then the person that asked for the command line, this is the same thing. It's the same thing you have on my screen right now. Just look at the last two. All right, you've gotten it, fine. Okay, you guys should learn to, okay, we are developers, right? Let's not be falling short to all of these commands. Just ensure Git. When I say, okay, Git dash dash global does not mean you should put it together. Git spacebar dash dash version, fine. Now we are all getting it. People, all right, Elijah Johnson. Who else is still having the same issue? So after that, now go on with the git config global username and then git config global user email. And then when you are done with that, okay, thank you, Ray. When you are done with that, now do your git config dash dash list. Git config, just to be sure that the command, the configuration is successful. Git config dash dash list. All right, and then, okay. Yeah, now let's move on to the next thing, please. We are already like far behind. This is supposed to. Okay, for you to know that the command is working or the Git is downloaded, so you have to check the version, Git dash dash version. So that by that, if you can get the version there, that means the Git has been successfully installed, right? And then if it worked, that means the version is going to come out. Is there space between the config and the dash dash? Yes, there is space. Git config, then space. Okay, let me do it like this. Git space bar. GZ, please, if you can type it on the screen for us, please, I appreciate. Git space bar. Access screen on the chat. Git space bar config space bar dash dash global. The only one that you don't have space is the dash dash global. There's no space between dash dash and global. Git, let me do it again. Git config dash dash global. So this is what you need: git config dash dash global user.name, then your username. So, all right, just continue doing that if you have not done it yet. Now, after doing that, we need to create a project and then create a repository. Let's just go back again from the beginning, okay? The first thing we did was to download and install Git on our system so that we can be able to use the command. So I'll be able to use the Git command, all right? So then after installing the Git, then for you to check that, okay, the Git is working fine, then you use Git dash dash version. So if you are able to see the version of the Git that you have installed, then the Git is successfully installed and is working fine on your system. All right, and after that, you're now expected to go to your GitHub, or if you don't have an account, go to GitHub and create an account. Then on creating the account, copy out your username and copy out your email address so that you are going to use this username and the email address to configure your GitHub, your Git, right, on your terminal. Then having done that, go back to your terminal, your Git bash or your CMD or your terminal, and then run Git dash dash version again. Then after that, now run the configuration, Git config dash dash global username, and then your username in a string. Then after that, run the third one, which is the username, user email. Then having done that, now check the list of what you have done, the list of your configuration by running git config dash dash list. So that will list your email address and your username. So now, having done that, what we need to do now is to create a project. And after creating the project, we now create a repository where our project is going to be pushed into. Baraka, why is your username not showing? What is showing there after listing? What do you have there after listing?
After writing the configuration code, it's not showing anything.
It should not show anything. When you are done with the configuration, that's when you now do the listing. It's not like, you understand, after the git config, blah, 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 it's not going to show, right? Then after you are done with the configuration, like the first username and the second email address, then you now do the git config -- list.
Okay, sir.
Regem. Regem, have you done the username and email first? Have you configured the email and the username? And then you're not getting anything after the list? I think you have to do it again. You must have made a mistake. Maybe you made a mistake somewhere. So you have to do it again because you have to get it for you to be sure that it is working or it has been configured. You have to run it. Run it again. Git config global username, your name, and the email address, and then git config -- list. And let's try it again. All right. So now we have to create a project. Okay. Now let's normally the project that I was thinking that we're going to be we're going to like code out. What do you say?
So I've done the git config, but what is saying is filter.iss or something.
I didn't get that.
After putting the so what is showing is diff.as as text plain.test, something like error code, sir.
That's not error code. There should be 3 lines. Let me show you guys on my terminal. There should be 3 lines. If you can see my terminal now, let me make it bigger. So let's just wait for this. Let me clear the terminal first. Then git config -- list. So you see credential.helper equals to OSX keychain, and then under it you see user.name, and then you see user.email address. Sorry, user.email. So that's what you should see. Well, we have to move on right now. Baraka, are you good?
No, that's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is different from you.
Okay, this is how it's going to be, right? After this class, we are going to check. Just feel free to screenshot what you have and then send it to me, or we are going to have a separate call after this class, right? Then every one of us can now share our screen to go on with the configuration. I believe some of us will be able to will be available to help some of us to do this configuration. So, but for now, let's just continue with the next thing. All right. So after the class, we'll go on with the help out on the configuration. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we are supposed to create a project, but then we've actually spent a lot of time configuring Git. So this is the project. This is the project. This is a clean slate project that we are going to, although we are going to be having a task after today's class. All right. So like I said, this class is going to last for about 3 hours. Okay. So we are going to do this very fast, only this one. And then you guys will have to like do the same thing and then do this one. Okay. And then push your work to the GitHub repository and then copy the link and save it as a submission link. So that is what we are going to do. Okay. So, but then let's see how we can do this very fast. I know we already know how to do all of these things because we've done our sign up page and it's almost the same thing. So let's do something very fast on the first line. So let me export this first. We already know how to export image, then preview, and let's export that. Also, this particular thing, there's a way you can code it out, right? But then I think I'm going to just export the whole design, okay? So that we don't have all, let's just leave that one for now. Let's not bother on this thing. I will just export one and then, or let me export the 2. Let's just export the 2. Where is it? This is it, rating. This is the service, and then this is the image. This is rating, this is service. Okay, let me export this. And then export rating also. Export. Okay, so I'll export this image also, this icon, WhatsApp icon. Okay, export. Fine. Okay, let me export this icon also, this phone timer or something. Export. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 export on this first screen. We already know how to export. So I'll put you guys through on how to go about this design. Although I believe you already know how to. Okay, so let's just see how we can make it very fast, and then we can work on it. This is going to be our task for today. So just please pay attention. All right. Let me open my VS Code. I need to have a different folder for this. Let me just close this. Okay. All right. Let me create a folder, Fin Suite. Enter. Okay, then I can open this from VS Code. File, new window. I won't be explaining all of these processes because we've done everything already. So I'll just keep doing it. But then when I get to the level when I should explain, I'll explain that. Okay, so now I need to open this. Let me open a folder. Open a folder. The folder that I just created, I want to look for it on my desktop. And then Fin Suite. This is it. Open it. Now let's wait for it to open. Okay, so we wait. This is our folder now. This is where we are going to have our HTML and our CSS. So the first thing, I'll create my index.html. Index.html. And then I'll create a folder where I will have my style. So CSS folder. Then inside the folder, I'll create style.css. Right? Now I'll create another folder, the image folder, img. Then inside the folder, I'll copy those images that I've just exported and I'll paste it inside the image folder. So how do I do that? It's very easy. We've done it before. So just go to your Finder. If you're using, just go to your File Explorer. If you're using a window, go to your File Explorer, go to Downloads. Okay, so we can have, okay, so we have, where is it? Service, this is service. This is rating. What else do I need? This is icon, assist, and then this. I think that is the file that I downloaded. So I'll copy it, then navigate to desktop where I have my project. All right, so Fin Suite, this is Fin Suite. My image, I think I have image, I'm supposed to have image. Well, let me just create image folder again because I created image. Okay, then paste it inside. Okay, so I have my images inside the image folder, inside my Fin Suite now. So then I can now go back to my VS Code. All right, this, I expect this to show up, but it doesn't. Let me just close it. So now, yeah, I have the images, I have the CSS, and then I have the index.html. So remember, your pages should not be in the folder. Let your folder, especially the index, should be outside. Allow your pages, which is your HTML, everything HTML should be outside. And then you can place your CSS inside a folder and your images inside an image folder. So now, yes, this is our index. Then what we do normally, I should increase this 1, 2, 3. All right. So like we always do, let's look at what we have on our Fin Suite. The design that we are about to follow, that we are going to follow, let's look at it. Okay. Here's the design. All right. Okay, so this is it. Now looking at this page, I have there's someone on this page. All right, looking at this page, I have my header, which is the fin suite as a logo, and then I have my navigation here, right? And then after the header, I have a main page. I have a main page where the main page is divided. Main page has two children. We have the left main page and then the right main page. The left main page is for the content, the text, and the button, while the right main page is for the image and the quick service and then the rating. Gospel Obaseson, please just give me a second. I'll attend to you. All right. So this is the design that we want to code. We want to bring this to life, right? So this is how we are going to do it. The first thing, like Femi Bliss said, if you see a solution, a problem, just calm down to understand your problem, right? You can even write it out. Try to like, okay, how am I supposed to fix this thing? What are the arrangements? What am I supposed to do first? Okay, now this is the problem that we are supposed to write out, make a code. So the first thing we need to do is to understand the problem. This is a full screen. From here to here is a full screen, okay? It's a full screen, like, okay, our full entire desktop. But then our page, the content is like starting from the middle. It's not like from the left and then from the right. It's not touching the left, not touching the right. It's like from the middle. So what do we need to do? That means, okay, in this case, we have to set a width. We have to set a width for this particular page, okay? We have to set a width for this particular page. Let's say, okay, if from here to here is 100%, and then let's assume this is 10%, and then this is 10%, okay? That means this particular mail now is going to be having a width of 80%. The same thing is applicable to this. Here is 10%, and here is 10%, and nothing is there, okay? That means our header is also going to be having a width of what? Of 80%. Since 10 out, then the left is 80, all right? So now this is what we are going to do. So first we have the first page. Let's do that. Let's go to our HTML. Okay, first thing, let me change this. Fin suite. This is a fin suite page. Now the body. All right, so first thing, let's focus on the header. The header should be, okay, let me just write header. Enter like this. So we have the header. And then inside the header, we have a logo, right? And then we have the navigations, the logo and navigations. So let's focus on the logo first. Let's put the logo in a div, okay? So now let's do that. Let's say .logo. And then our logo is now this, a curly braces and a fin suite. So that's H1. So let's do this, curly braces and fin suite. All right. So the second one after the logo is the navigation. So let's do that also. Under the div for that logo, we create nav. Nav is an element, so you don't have to use div for that one. So inside the navigations now, we have a list of items. We have home, about, service, blog, and contact. We have a list of items, okay? And then we now have another thing, which is not a list of items. This one, this is going to get really confusing, but let's not get confused. This is how it is. Our header, this is our header. Our header is having two children, right? The first one is the logo. The second one is the navigation here. Okay, and that's what we have just done here. Two children. The first one is the logo. The second one is the navigation. So then we fix the logo by typing H inside the logo. This is the logo, right? Now the second one, the navigation is also having two children, right? The first part is the list item, which is the UL. This is it. The second one is this one here, a div that is showing us role assistance and then the contact. So that this is what we do. We are going to have a UL, that's the first children, that's the first child, and then we are going to have another div for the right. You can just call it contact, right contact. Let's just put it that way. Right / contact. Then enter. Okay. So then inside our UL, we have a list item, home, about, service, blog, and contact. So let's do that. Let's create a list items. Home. Okay. So now the way we used to do that, we can't just be repeating ourselves every time. Let's just shift alt and then you get more of those home. So now this is 5. So let me add one more. So I'll say about contact. All of these things we've done before, so I won't have to like waste much time on it. Home, about, okay, services. Before this should be services, and then this should be contact, and then the last one is the blog. Why am I missing it together? So this should be contact, this should be blog. Okay, so we are done with this one, with the first child inside the navigation. Now we focus on the second child. Now looking at this second child now, this one is also having the second child is having two children also. The first one is the logo, the icon here. The second one is road assistance. See, this is how you guys should be looking at it. Anything that is placed beside each other, it is considered to be two children. As far as this item is placed beside each other, then they are considered to be two children, right? Child each. Okay, this one left, this one right. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be. Now we have this as the left inside the nav. We have this as the right inside the nav. And then when we enter the right inside the nav, we now have another left, which is the icon, and another right, which is the text. So that's what we are going to do now. Now, inside our right contact, we are going to have icon. Let's just put image. That's it, the first child. That's for the icon. And then the second one is now going to be okay, road assistant. Okay, let me do it this way. Let's just do it this way. First child, right contact first, right contact left. Let's just put it like this. Okay, or let's say right contact icon. Okay, then we can have image inside. All right, then the second one, we now have right contact text. Okay, so then we can now have, since this is the right contact text, we can now have our two text inside, the road assistance and then the phone number. We now say, let's just use P, road assistance, and then this should be number. So we can use tel. I'm not sure if we have tel at. Okay, let's just continue. Number, let's say 081 plus 234 plus 234 802233455. Okay, so this is the structure of our header. That's what I want you guys to learn how to do first. And then I noticed that many of us don't know how to align, how to format our code properly. Just look at this screen now, okay? Look at the screen. If you have a parent should always have an extra gap before the child or before the children. So in this case, let me close this out. Body is parent to header, or I would say header is a child to the body. So in that case, your header should have a space, like should just shift inside, just for you to know that, okay, the body is the parent, and then the header is the child. It shouldn't be on the same line as the body. That's more like you're disrespecting your mom or your dad. Okay, so you need a space, just a little space here to show that, okay, go inside a little bit so that you know that, okay, you are the child to this person. So now our header now has two children, okay? So we have the logo and then we have the nav. These are the two children. Both of them are on the same line because they are both children to header, but then they are inside a little bit from header because header is their parent. Okay, so that's the formatting. Anyone that it is your superior should not be on the same line as you. You should like shift inside a little bit just to show that, okay, I'm a child to this person and this person is my parent. That's just how it works. Now let's open the logo. Logo now has a child, which is the film suite. Also, the child is shifted inside a little bit. So let's close that out. Open the navigation. Navigation has two children, the UL and the div, which both of them also shift inside a little bit. Then opening the UL has 5 children, okay? And they all shifted inside a little bit. So that's how you should format your code. Learn how to format your code properly. All right. So now let's look at the structure now. We have our header, right? And then we have our logo, and then we have our UL, our navigation. Inside our navigation, we have our UL, and then our right contact. And then inside the right contact, we have two children, which is the logo, the icon. That's what we call the right contact icon. And then the right, which is the right contact text. So that is the structure of our header. Now let's style the header. Our header here is having a background of white. Yeah, it's having a background of white. So okay, Gospel, please raise your unmute yourself and ask a question. Sharp. We don't have much time.
Thank you, sir. The space beside this landing page, are we going to do it exactly like that?
Yes, it has to be exactly the way it is looking like this. Just the way it is looking.
Just like this, like it's looking small.
Don't worry. When you write the code, they call it a container, and then don't worry. By the time we start writing the code, it's not going to look small on your browser. So that's how it's going to be. Okay. So now we have the header, right? And then the header is, I think, 80%. Like I said, the width of the header is 80%. Okay. So now let's do this. Let's give. Okay, we don't have to give this one a style. Let me link my styling first. Link CSS. All right, so our CSS is inside a CSS folder / then style.css. Now let's save this. And then we'll go to CSS. Let's not forget our universal selector. Take everything back to default. Okay, this is the first. Then padding 0, margin 0, margin is 0, box sizing, border box. So this will take everything back to default so that we can style it the way we want. Now we call our header, select your header, and then we give it width 80%. Okay, width of 80%. Now let's save it and see what we have first. Okay, let me open this, open in live server. Let's see what we have. I don't want it here. I think I'll rather want it here. Properly. Okay, let's do it. Okay, let me bring this out. And fix it beside it. Okay, so let's use the inside. All right. Okay, this is okay. Sorry, I think we need to do the flexing first, and then we'll see what we have properly. So for now, we have our logo, our navigations, and our rights. But then the logo is not showing, the icon is not showing because we've not actually linked it. So this is what we do. Our header, we need to style our header, give it a flex, display flex. Flex, that's the first thing. Then we do justify content space between, because there's space between the logo and the navigations. So let's save it, and then align items, center. Okay, so let's save it and see what we have. This is what we have first. So we have this and this. Now it is like space between the logo and the navigations. Now let's focus on the navigation also. Okay, so the navigation is having two children, which has to be flexed beside each other. This is the first child, this is the second child. Now let's target the navigation. Let's look what we have here. Navigation. Okay, navigation. Now let's call navigation. Nav is also an element. So we say display flex. Display flex. Then we say justify content. Let's not justify the content. Let's just leave it like that. Let's just put align items center. All right. But then we need a gap. We need small gap. Let's say colon gap, because if you need a gap when it is on a row, you need colon gap. Let's say 10 pixels. Okay. Now let's save and see what we have. All right. So now we have our UL beside our rights assistance. Okay. So now the next thing is to flex the UL also, so that we can have all of the list items on the same line. We need to flex it to have all of the list items on the same line. these things, I don't want to dwell into it too much because we've done it before, and then we don't have much time. Okay, so now let's call our UL, but then let's say now UL, because we are going to have many UL in our project, but then we are only going to have one navigation. We can't have two navigations. We can only have one navigation. So now nav UL. So let's say display flex, align items center, and then column gap. Let's say 10 pixels also. Now let's see what we have. Now let's see. Okay, fine. That means now we have our logo here. We have our list item beside each other, and then we have the road assistance also beside the UL. So now what is the next thing for us to do? Let's remove this styling, this dot from our UL, so it's going to look nice. So, but then how do we do that? We are going to target the list item each, because the styling is actually focused is on the list items. So we are going to target the list item, each of it. All right. So let's call the navigation UL and then the LI, and then we now say text decoration. Text decoration none. None. Is this? Let me see if I can still remember that. No, that should be list styling. Sorry, I think I missed it. List styling, that's list style. Then we give it none, because we don't want any styling for that list item. So list style, none. All right, let me check the chat, see what we have. Okay, feel free to ask your question on the chat. Okay, just feel free to drop a question on the chat. Okay, now we've removed the dot that is located on the list items. All right. So what is next for us to do? I'm thinking let's give our header a background so we can see where our header is actually is, so we can see the difference in what we are doing. So let's target our header. Background color, let's assume golden rod. Yeah, I know, golden rod. So let's see. Okay, now our header is like, because we gave our header 80%, so it's now moving towards the left. Like it's now, okay, this part is now the 20%, and then this part is the 80%. So how do we centralize it? We need to take everything to the center. How do we do that? How do we do that? Now you think of how to do that. And then we have something they called margin. Okay, margin, you know, from our previous trainings, we have margin so that you can give a particular item a margin to space between yourself and another person. Okay, so but then in this case we can use margin auto. Margin auto will help us to centralize our div, our header to the center. That means auto means take the percentage you have for your right and ensure that the percentage for the right is equal to the percentage from the left. And margin auto works only for left and right. So ensure that the percentage you have, it is the computer, the JavaScript, or the HTML code that will decide that on its own. Decide and choose a percentage for the right. Make sure the space for the right is the same thing as the space for the left. So this is what we do. Now we say margin auto. Now let's save it, see what we have. See, as simple as that. The margin auto now centralize our header to the center. And if you can see it, our right proportion is the same thing as the left. Like the percentage given to the right space is as equal, is even not as equal, it is the same thing to the left, because this thing is a code and it cannot be different. All right, so now, yes, we have our container, okay? And then we have our header, and then we have the logo, we have the list item, and then we have the right list item. But there's something I would like to do. Okay. Okay. Let's forget about that yet. Let's bring the icon here. There's one icon that's supposed to be here. So let's bring it in. Let's go to our index.html. Gospel, ask a question.
Sir, why is the header not inside the container?
The header, okay, we don't need a container yet. We don't need a container. Since it's the header, so we can just, well, when you need a container is when you don't have the element itself. All right, let's say, for example, you use a div, and then you can pass a container to the div, okay? But then this is a header, so we can just call the header and give it the 80% directly. I understand where you're coming from, that, okay, the header is supposed to be in a container, but it doesn't necessarily need to be in a container. The header can be on its own and then be given whatever it is that we want to do. But in the case where, let's assume our first page is having a different color, okay? Let's say our first page is having a different color, and then the header is having a different color, okay? That means we need to put our header in a container. Something like this. No, let's not go. Okay, let's just do it. Let's assume, did I even do that? Okay, let's assume this white is now a different color, and then the next section is not white. For example, let's say this is white, the next section is blue. So in that case, if you pass color to your body and you give it white, the next one that is not white is going to be affected, and everything is going to have white. So we'll just leave the body like that and not touch the body. Instead, we create a container for this one, and then give it height, 100 view height, width 100%, and pass the color, background color to it. But I don't want to go that now. Let's just focus on what we have on the screen for now. Okay. So, okay. All right. Thank you very much. So now let's bring the image here, the icon. So open the header. Now on the source, let's say /img, and then the icon. Can I remember the icon? Assistance icon. I think this is it. Okay, yeah, fine. Now we have our icon and the road assistant. Remember when I said it that our icon and road assistant are also children to a particular div, which is what we have here. If you see it, our right contact is having this icon as the left, and then this assistant as the right. So we need to flex this right contact also, so that our icon can be beside our road assistant. Moving forward is going to get really, really messy and tough, and it's going to look like, oh, more, am I supposed to be in this class? Am I even getting anything? Am I even understanding? But trust me, you are going to get it. Just calm down and flow and follow with what we are doing. And feel free to always come back to us on the Discord channel to ask for questions, all right? And as we always do, we are going to have a class tonight, okay? We're going to have a class tonight where we'll talk about this all over again, not the GitHub. This one particularly, we're going to talk about it all over again, because our next task is going to be based on this, and the task is a promotional task. So that's what is going to happen. All right, so let's not get confused, or maybe you're vexing already. Let's just calm down and follow what we have now. At night, you get to understand it better again when we do it all over again. All right, so let me flex the right contact. The right contact is, okay, let me try. Okay, we have navigation, right contact. Okay, so let's just do that. Okay, navigation, then dot right contact. Okay, so now here we have display flex. Okay, so we have align items center, and then let's save. I think we have gap. Yeah, we have gap 10 pixel. Let me give column gap instead of the full gap. All right, so now let's save, and let's see what we have. Fine. Now this is looking as what we have. It's just looking, if you check this thing now, it's looking like what we have, right? But then it's not looking at that, like it's not really. Let's remove, if we remove the background, I think we need to give space between the navigations, and then there is a line here. So I should zoom it in. There's a line here in between this navigation and this. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's just give our navigation a border right. Okay, let's give our navigation a border right, and then this is going to be there. Okay, so let's do that. Let me reduce the icon size. It's too big. Icon. Okay, alternative. Let me say contact icon. And then the width, or we can just pass size. No, let me use width. Width. Let's say 40 pixel. That is going to look like. Pixel length will not change. This 20 pixel. Okay, that's too small. Let's use 30 pixel. 30 pixel. Then what we have. Okay, I think this is better. All right, now what is next for me to do before I go on by doing the border right for the nav? I need to have space. This, my content, is too close to the header. I need small space by the right and the left and top and bottom. So how do I do that? Since I need space within, that means I need my header to stretch. It should allow itself, just stretch itself outside the content, okay? Just give more space for the content. So we go to the nav, the header, and then say padding. Padding, I think, let me say left and right should be 10 pixels. And then top and bottom, top and bottom should be 5 pixels. Left and right should be 5 pixels. Let's see what we have. Okay, this is too small. Let me give this 10. See what we have. Okay, I think this is better. All right, this is kind of better. Then let me give space between these guys. They are too close. That's the navigation. 20 pixel, save, and then see what we have. Fine. All right. Now I need a border right for my navigation, for my UL. So then let me focus on this and then give border right. Okay. So 1 pixel, 1 pixel, solid gray. That's fine. Okay, now let's see what we have. Okay, now it is there. This border is there. But then the border is too close to the contact. That means I need something like a padding. I need something like a padding for my UL so that the contact, or let's say the whole UL, is going to like a little bit further or give space between the wall and the contact itself. Okay, so all of these things are what we've actually done before, and I don't want us to get lost. Honestly, I really don't want us to get lost. Okay, so this border right is too close to the contact. That means it's too close to the UL, it's too close to the content. So the UL has to expand itself by the right to give space for this contact. So how do we do that? Focus on the UL and then give padding right, 20 pixel, and then save. All right, so this is what we have. Okay, I think this is looking so real. This is looking so real. Then I need to reduce the font size of these two. So let me target them. Here we have PP. So right contact text P. I'm going to give them the same style, the same size. So navigation dot right contact text. Okay. So, but then I need the P. I need to get the P. All right. So I will now say font size will now be 10 pixel. Let's save it. Then see what we have. Oh, that's too small. There's a way you can actually use your Figma design to decide or to determine whatever you have. Okay. So let's assume our Figma design is, let's go to our Figma design. Let me click on this to see the size of this road assistance. Here, the size is 16 pixel. All right, the size is 16 pixel. So let's just give it 16 pixel. 16 pixel, yeah, 16 pixel. And then there's a line height of 24 pixel. So let's do that also. Line height of 24 pixel. Let's see how it likes. Okay. Okay, I think this is cool. Oh man, it's looking too big for me. It's looking really, really big for me. I don't like that. 14, let's use 14. Okay, 14, then let's reduce to 18. Okay, this is fine. I think this is really, really cool. Now I'm going to remove the golden rod. About this, I will attend to you shortly. And the golden rod is out. Fine. So this is what we have. Let's see. Does this look like the design? Does this look like the design? I think it does look like the design. The only thing we need, I think we need some space on top still, and then we need space between the UL. UL are kind of close to each other. So let me increase this to 14 pixel, and then the UL, I will increase the gap, make it 15 pixel, and let's see. Okay, there's no changes. Let me say 20 pixel, column gap. Okay. I'm not seeing any change. Not like I'm not seeing any difference. Okay, the navigation UL column gap. Let me switch. I'm not seeing any difference. Okay, 50. Let's use 40 instead. After 50 is much. Okay, 40. All right, this is cool. So now looking at the design, you can see, okay, we have our print suite, although this one needs to be a bold, kind of bold. And then this list item needs to be smaller. Okay, let's check the size though. Let's check the size. The size is 16 pixel. Okay, so now let's I think the size is okay. Let's just leave the size like that. So now we are done with the header. We are done with the header. We are done with the header. The icon, the road assistance, the UL, the border rights, and then the logo. Although we don't even need to like increase it, give the logo a for something. It's already fine like this. So now we are going to move to the next section. Right, next section. I'll come again on how I was able to achieve the header. But then let me take questions. We only have like 15 minutes to go, and then we'll call it a day. All right, question. Oba session. Okay.
You can call me Jessam.
Okay, Jessam.
The font.
Okay.
How are we going to like make it look like their own?
Yeah. Okay, this is it. Mostly the font used here, if you check it, is mostly like kind of smaller. This is 16 pixel, all right? But then if you use 16 pixel on your own side, it's going to be a little bit bigger, okay? So let's learn how to like reduce 2 pixel from the font size we have on the Figma. So this is it.
In like the font family.
Okay, the font family, we are going to get to that. This is Manro. So we are going to get to that. Okay, but let's just
no, like I'm thinking so that our mouth will not drop a bit.
Well, no, I won't use that to actually grade you. I won't use the fonts. Anything we do not that, I won't use it to grade you. Okay. So if you want to do that, well, let's not go there. Let's not just go there for now, please. All right. So yeah. I think I have another. Okay, Etech, your question.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My question is on that column gap that you're using. I want to know why you're using column gap instead of gap. Is there a difference between gap and column gap?
Okay, thank you very much. When you use gap, do you know that when you have padding, your padding is top, left, bottom, right? I just put it that way. That means if you say padding 10 pixel, that means you're saying, okay, I need 10 pixel top, 10 pixel bottom, 10 pixel right and left. So the same thing is applicable to column, to gap. If I say gap 10 pixel, that means I need space between and on top. All right, gap top, bottom, gap left and right. That's gap directly. But then I don't need gap up and bottom. I don't need gap top and bottom. I only need gap left and right. So that's why I need to pass column gap. If it is a gap that I want to actually, like for example, this road assistance now, if I need a gap between the road assistance, since this is top and bottom, right, I'll pass row gap. But then in this case, where I only need gap right and left, I'll pass column gap. Although if I pass gap, it's still going to work. It's going to work really fine. But best practice is good to like follow, just use the exact thing that you're supposed to use. Since you don't need top and bottom, you only need left and right. Just use your column gap. Are we clear? Any more question? This is the same thing we did last week. So I believe we should not be confused or we should not get lost. This is the same thing we did last week. So this is a, let me just do a recap of how we were able to achieve it. Okay, this is it, right? Our header. This is the first child. This is the second child. Yeah, I just grouped them into two, the first and the second. In your own case, you can even choose to group in three. All right. Yeah, the UL and the role assistants, you can choose to group in three. But to me, I feel like it is best to group in two because the right is close to each other. Okay. So now we have left and then we have right. This is the left. So this is the left, right? The logo, and then this is the right navigation. This is the right. Okay. And then now focusing on the right, we have two children also in the right, the UL and the right road assistant. So we have to create the UL as the first child, and then we create the div as the right contact. All right, that's the two children, this and then this. Okay, now looking at the UL, we need to flex it. Okay, so that's why we flex our UL. All right, we flexed our UL, and then we give a gap between it, and then we align the items to the right. Align items to be center so that everything is going to be on the straight line. Okay, so now focusing on the right inside the navigation. This is the right now. The right is also now having two children. The first one is the icon. If you open the right, let's close this one. Okay, we've closed it. Open the right contact. Now we have two children, which is the right contact icon and then the right contact text. Okay, so inside the right contact icons, we have the image, right? And then we pass our image and then we pass a width to reduce the size. So we close that one and then we go to the right one, which is the right contact text. Then we put our P, whether this assistance and the number. So now this guys needs to be beside each other. Like I said, anything that is placed beside each other, that you see, okay, this one is beside this one. The best way to solve it is to assume them as two children inside their parents. All right, so that's just the best way to solve it. And then you now flex the parent, which is what we did. Right contact, flex the children. This one is now beside this one, and then everything is now looking really fine. And then to achieve this is just this our UL. We just pass. Let me show you guys something. Let me give that UL a background color. Background color, let's say red. Okay, let's save it, and then this is what we have. Okay, so the background color, this is the contact, the UL from here to here. But because I passed padding right, 20 pixels, that's why we have this small space here, padding right. That means I need extend yourself or expand yourself by the right. Baraka, do you want to say something, Baraka? No. You are on mute. Okay, just mute yourself. Thank you. Okay, just because I need space between the wall of the UL and the content, that's why we need to pass padding right, and then we now put our border right as okay. I think we may even need, because the border is kind of like longer. Okay, the border is kind of like longer here, right? As you can see. So how can we achieve that? To be able to achieve that, we need to put padding for our UL top and bottom. So that will now expand the size or the space of the UL so that this border can also expand with it. So let's do something like that. Let's say padding top and bottom. Let's say padding. Oh, let me just do it this way. Instead of padding right, let's use padding. So top, let's say top 5 pixel. Right, left is 0 pixel. No, this is the bottom 5, and then left is 0 pixel. So now let's save and see what we have. Okay, I think this is okay. Now our border is taking the height of the UL, okay? And then UL is now having a padding top and having a padding bottom. So let me remove the background color and see what we have now. Let's save it and then see. Very nice, and it's exactly the way we have it from the design. All right, are we good to go? Can we jump on to the next one? Let's jump onto this one as soon as possible.
The fine suite logo looks bigger.
Okay, it looks bigger. Well, that one is left for you guys to to decide. All right, let's just let me just see what I can do about it. Okay, header logo. Let's style header logo. And there's one thing about styling. Try as much as possible to style sequentially. Okay, just because I have header logo, I will now know. No, it's not nice for me to come down here and start styling my header logo. Yeah, no. Header logo is after header, so style it just after the header. So the logo. All right, and then let's say font size. Let's make it. What will medium do? Let me see. Medium. Nah, not changes. Let's say 30 pixels. Hey, wait. Let's use 15. Why is 30 pixels that big? Okay. I think it's okay like this, Ba. Oba.
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's cool like this. All right, now let's move on to the next one, which is the main. Now, this is the main. We are done with the header. Now, let's focus on the main. If you see the main is also having a width, okay? Also having a width of 80%. So what we need to do is give it 80% and then give it margin auto to place it at the center. And then we need what? We need padding top. So let's try something first. Let's do this. Let's go to our index. Now, after the header, we close it out. That's how I like to work this way so that I don't have confusion. So I'm done with the header. I'm closing it out. Now I'm going to the main. Now this is the main. All right. So let me focus on the main. I'll give the main a background and then give it a height so that I will know that, okay, I'm working from here to here. Okay. So now this is what we do. Let me go to this place. After this main. Sometimes you can even comment out what you are doing. You can just write main styling. So just for you to have, so that you know, okay, this is it from here to here, this is what I'm doing. All right. That's just the best way. Those things make you know how to code properly and how to read your code when you want to come back to it. So I will now say main. Okay. And I will say height. I won't give it 100 because I already have this one here. So I can just say 92 or 93 view height. Okay. And I can say width 80%. All right. I will say margin auto. And then I will now say background color so I can see what I'm doing. Aqua. Okay, sorry, golden rod. Background color, golden rod, then save. Now let's see what we have. Why? Nothing is showing. Height, main, width, background color, golden rod. Okay, sorry, I did not save my index. Save that. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. So this is what we have. Let me close this out. All right, so as you can see now, the 80% is the same thing as the 80% of the header. It's because I use 80%. That's why I have to keep using 80%. Okay. Although in some cases you can create a container and put every of your code inside it. Exactly. So that would avoid you passing 80% everywhere. But then I've checked through the design. Okay. There are some places that doesn't really support the 80%, something like this. Okay. So if I should create a container and copy everything inside of it, that means, yeah, I'm going to have problem. All right. That's why I need to focus on each of the section one by one. It doesn't cost me anything. Give this one 80, give this one 80 and the likes. All right. So now let's do that. But then I think this is white. So let's just give it golden rod for now. Let's see what we are working on. So we have two children inside our main, right? We have the left and then the right. So let's create a div for this and create for this. So now let's do this just the way we have been doing.
But the height is a bit too much now.
I'm coming. So here we have dot main right image. What do you gospel? Let me just use gospel. What did you say?
The height of this main.
Yes.
Is big now.
Is big? Well, okay, maybe I'll have to reduce it by maybe 1 because the thing is from your from your header to this place is 100 view height. Okay, and then this is header. So after the header, the main should take every other thing. Okay, so normally we should not have a scroll. Just the way we are having it, we should not have a scroll. That means I need to reduce the height of my this one. Let me use 92. Let's see. We shouldn't have a scroll. Okay, there's no scroll anymore. Oh, I think there's still scroll. Let's use 91. All right. Okay, so there's no scroll anymore here. So everything is perfect now. Okay, so that's how it's supposed to be. But then we are going to find a way to place all of this one at the center. We're going to place these two guys at the center. How do we do that? How do we do that? Oh, how do we do that? Okay, that means we need a container because our main is taking from top like this to this place. So I think that's what Operation is trying to say. So our main is taken from here to here. But then what we have here is just taking like 80% of what it's taking. So we need a container inside of the main. All right. So let's see. Let's wrap this inside the container. Cut this out. Then say dot container. Okay. And then let me put this one inside. So let's not forget about the styling that I said. A child should always go inside of the parent, just like this. All right. So now inside the container, now we want to flex. But for now, let's keep that container in the background so that we can see. Our container should be from here to here. So let's do that. Let me save this and then call main container. Main dot container. Okay. And then we can say background color. Let's use aqua. Maroon. All right. Maroon. Let's save it and see what we have. Okay. We don't have the height yet. Let's give it the height. Height should be 80% of the container of the main. 80%. Now let's say width should be full. I think the width is containing everything inside the main. All right, now let's save it and see what we have. Okay, so now this is our container, all right? But then from the design, our container should be located at the center of the main, not at the top like this. Instead, it should be located at the center of the main. All right, so how do we do that? We go to our main, and then we do flex and flex column. We flex it, but in the case, since we don't have anything to like, this is not about left and right, it's about top and bottom. So we say flex column, and then align item center. So let's do that. This is our main. So we say display, flex direction, column, and then align items, center. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, it's not working yet. I think I need to pass justify content also. Center. All right, this should work. Okay, now we have our main from here to here. And then we have our container, which is going to be taking this text and this one at the center of our main. At the center of our main. Why do I need coloring? It's just for me to know what I'm working on. With the help of my background color, I can easily take this from here and put it there, and I can see the changes as I'm changing my code. So any questions before we move forward? We are going to finish with this one before we go to the. I believe you all know that it's almost 1 o'clock. Any question? Okay, I think we are all good. All right, so now let's focus on our container. Now we are done with the main. So our container does have a left text and then the right. Let's use right image. So let me save left text and right image. So let's do this. Styling main dot container dot left text. Okay, that should have width. Actually, I don't know. Is the width the same thing? Are they 50-50? I think they are 50-50, right? So let's say 50-50%. Okay, so let me target the other one too. I don't want to put it together. I can even put it together. Let me just put it together. But for now, the right image. Right image. Okay, so height 100%. At some point, we will stop using all of this height. But for now, let's keep using it. Height 100%. Background color green. And then here, background color yellow. Okay, so now let's save it and see what we have. Okay, I think I need to flex this, my container, so that I can have, see now it's not making any sense. So I need to flex it to be beside each other. So display, flex. All right, that's all. I don't even need align or anything. So now we have our green. Now this thing is covering the container. As you can see, you cannot see the main anymore. You cannot see the container background anymore. The maroon has disappeared. So I will now remove all of this color now and then start writing my text inside the left. Or let's focus on the right first. Let's put the image here. So now let's do that. Our main right is what?
Right is harder.
Oh, I didn't get that though. It's farther.
Yeah, it's harder. It's hard. Like.
Okay, it's harder. Okay. All right, it's not a problem. There's no linear gradient. Is there any gradient on this right? Let's finish with this first. So we're going to see. All right, so let me get the image. So image, and then what's the image? Okay, that's this image, and then let's say background position center, background size, cover, background repeat, no repeat. These are the default background configuration. So now let's see it. Okay, so we are good. Now we have our image. We have our image. Fine. Now let's place the two icons that we get. Right? We have the the service and the rating. We need to place these two. Yes.
That background image has padding right.
Padding right. Well, let's forget about. I wouldn't want us to put that one there. I wouldn't want us to put that one there because it's going to make the whole alignment. I think the designer made a mistake here. Okay, so that's why. Yeah, if you check the alignment from this 52 and this is the same thing. So the designer just made a mistake by putting this one here. So let's ignore that.
Is the padding left that has is the left box that has padding right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't want to put it because I need the alignment between from this one and this one, and it is really fine. So now okay, I'm coming. Or do we need the padding?
We've done it.
Okay. All right, let's go. So now we need to place the rating and the service, these two guys on top of this image, right? How do we do that? We've done positioning before. We've done positioning. So, well, let's just do here we do position, absolute, and then we do top and then left. Let's do it first. This is going to get really messy. But I want to get to understand it. So let me zoom it. All right. So let's go inside our right image slash img then service. Okay. So the second image also img. Then let's say slash img slash rating. All right. So let's pass service and then rating. Okay. Now let's save it. So we don't need to like do flex or anything. Although flex will still work, but then I don't. In this case, the best thing to use is our position. So this is the left and this is the right. I need to reduce the sizes. So let me come here. Let's pass width, and then let's put let's say 25 pixels. Let's see how it looks like. See how it looks like. Wait.
So I'm not going to give them classes.
The class? Yeah, we'll pass the class. We'll pass the class. Okay, let's just give class so that we can do all this styling from the class. No. I like to have my width here. 90. Why is this so small? This is so small anyhow. Okay, let's use 125. So small. 125. Ah, so small. Let me use 200. 200, 200. 200 pixel. Okay, this should be fine. All right, so this is okay. Although it may be small for you guys, but this, let's just go with this for now. I can't keep changing. All right, now I'll pass classes because the two of them are actually in a different location. So I'll pass classes. Yeah, let me say class. Say service, yeah. Service, and then this should be rating. So now my CSS, let's go to CSS, and then we'll call those guys. Let's call this first. Copy it and paste it here. Ensure to give space, make your work look really nice and interesting. So write image service and write image rating. Write image service dot service. Okay, so let's say position absolute. All right, then we say, okay, let's do this. Let me say left is 0. I'll show you guys something now. Left is 0, and then top is 0. Top is 0. Let's save it and see what we have. Okay, now this is the guy now. See, this is this guy somewhere here. Why is this thing coming down to this place? It's because, like I said last week, if you don't want your absolutes, like the content that you pass absolutes, what I passed is top and left. And that means left is 0. Drag that item to the left, right? And okay, as you can see, the window is dragging it to the left. And then top is dragging it to the top, okay? But then I don't want this thing to leave this particular space. I don't want this my absolute to leave this my div. So what do? I need to give this div a relative. That means that relative means, okay, any absolute that I have inside of me should not live inside of me. Then they will assume that the parent is now the whole screen. They will now take the top of the parent and the left of the parent. So let's do that. That will be right image, right? Position should now be relative. Now let's save and see what we have. Okay, see now the quick service is back. Now it is now seeing the right image, which is the parent, as the whole screen. Now it will now take the left of the parent and take the right, the top of the parent. The top means top 0. Drag this thing to the 0. Right, left, sorry. Drag this thing to the left. Okay, if I should say left 50%, it's going to push it like 50% of the left. See, now it's pushing it to like 50% of the left. But then I need it to be by the left, like this. So let me just say, and then when you're using the 0, you don't need percentage. Okay, so this is what we have. Now I need to call this right also the rating, drag it to the bottom and drag it to the right. So this is what we'll do. Let me copy this, paste it here, change this one to rating, and then this should be right as well. This should be left. Okay, so now let's save it and see what we have. Okay, what's going on? Right. Oh, sorry, bottom 0 and then right 0. Okay, so now we have it. We have this by the left and the top, and then we have this by the right and the bottom. It's as simple as that. And this thing is supposed to be somewhere here. If we do not pass relative to our parent, to the parents, then all of this thing will be seeing the whole screen as the parents. But because we pass relative, then they are now seeing this part of the screen as the main screen. Okay, so then I would like to increase this size because it's kind of too small. 250, save. But then if you check the design, right, it is kind of like overlapping. See, it is overlapping, right? How do I do that? Since I have 0, there's every possibility for me to have minus. Okay, so I think I can use minus something to achieve this. So how do I do that? Let's go back to our left, which is the service, and then pass. Instead of the 0, we now use minus, let's say 10%, for example. Let's see what we have. Save. Okay, I think it's moving closer. We need to increase the 10%. Let's make it 30%. Save. Oh, that's too much. Okay, 20. Save. That's better. But then I still need to reduce it. Let me make it 15%. Okay, this is fine. Let's do the same thing for right. Minus 15%. Okay, so let's save it and see what we have. Fine. I think we're now able to achieve what we have here and what we have here. But then I think I need to make this thing bigger. Don't know why. Maybe I should just remove the width. Get out. It's looking smaller every time. Now it's very big. Let me use percentage. Let's just say 80%. Let's see how this one is going to look like. Okay, let's use percentage. That will make it better. So 70, and then width here past 70. Okay, so now let's do it. Okay, this is fine. Now we need to add to our left and our right the minus that we used earlier. So let's make it let's say 18, and then this one also 18%. Save it and see what we have. 20%. That's one thing about CSS. You have to like keep trying and keep trying. There's no way you can't know everything offhand. Okay, so you have to like keep trying, and then until you achieve what you want. So now this is what we want. So we are good to go on the right. We are very well good to go on the right. So we have this by the right, and it is overlapping, and then we also it's overflowing. We have this by the right, and it is overflowing. Okay, so now let's focus on our left. Yeah, the text image and the button and this. Although I will not finish that today because we are going to call it a day. I will just show you guys how to do that. Inside the left, right, we are going to have H1, and then what is inside it? Get your vehicle service done online at one place. Get your vehicle service done online at one place. Okay, so now let's save it, see what we have. All right, and then under it I have a button. Under it I have a button. Let me give it a width so it's not going to be getting to this point. Okay, so I'll give this a width. Left text 50%. Okay, I'm thinking of what to do not to make that thing get to that point. Let me just focus on the image. Sorry, the text. Yeah. Then H1. So let's say width. Let's give it 80%. All right. Save. And then fine. So now we can now choose on how to arrange it. What you need to do is just padding top, padding bottom, or instead of that, you can just say, you can wrap everything here in a div, and then you give them, okay, let me just show you guys that. So inside our left text, let's have a div dot content. Okay, let me place this. So I'll remove the width that I gave. So I'll put this content and give it that width instead of the HTML. Sorry, instead of the H1. I'm coming, save this. Okay, so the H1, sorry, we don't need you anymore. We may still need you, Sha. So I'll now call the content in this case, content, right? So I'll give that one the width, 80%, width 80%, okay? So now I want that content to be at the center. If I should give that content, I'm coming, let me give it the height, for example. The height, let me say 40%, and then a background green or gray. Save. See what we have. So this is what we have. But then I want it to be at the center so that all of these things can be located at the center. So I will just go to my left text. I'll say display flex. All right. Then I'll say flex direction, column, and then I'll say justify content center. All right. So let's save and see. All right. So we have it at the center. Okay. So we can just remove the height because I don't need the height. I don't need the height. Save it. I don't need this. Save it, and I don't need this green. Save it. So yeah. Then let me go and remove the maroon. I don't need it anymore also. Save it. So this is what we have now. I don't need this golden rod also. I don't need too many colors. All right, save it. All right, this is what we have. Then you can now continue by inputting your button. We all know how to put button. Increase the size of this, fix your button, and then here you should have 2 children, 1 and 2, and then flex the 2, and then let me have this design. I want to have something very, very close to this, like 95% close to this design by the time you guys start submitting your work, okay? So I will take questions now, and then we'll call it a day. So this is what we're able to do today. Well, it's because of time and then the Git that we're trying to fix. So this is how you guys are going to do it. This night, we are going to have another class, okay? And inside that class, we are going to explain to ourselves how to go about adding this thing to a Git repository, okay? Because we cannot do that anymore. We are actually out of time. So how to push this our work to a repository, and then you now copy your repository link and then save it, or submit it inside your LMS. So that's what we are going to do at night. And now we are going to be using this same link, okay? We're going to be using this same link so that I can actually record it and I can upload it online. So thank you very much. I really appreciate everyone for staying this long. We've actually spent 3 hours and 14 minutes. Really appreciate it.
Question.
All right, question. Sharp.
The assignment, is it just this page or everything?
No, it's going to be this page, and then the next page. Okay. This page, and then this page. This is going to get no. It's going to let's just wait for it, Sha. I think I'll just focus on this page for now because I'm looking at this page as a way that is going to be really, really difficult for us. But for now, we are going to fix this page and then promote to the next stage, and then from there we can now start doing other pages. So by then we must have understand how to use our div, our flex very well. All right, is that clear? All right. Other questions. Ati.
So I have a question.
Oh, yeah, continue.
Okay, sir. So in the Figma, like, are they going to send us like the link that we are going to use to get the image from?
No. You will have to extract and then get the image URL. Although in this case, just don't worry about the image URL anymore. Export your image and do everything you need to do on your VS Code. We are not using CodePen anymore. But then GitHub does not need you to generate any image URL. You understand? So don't worry about the image URL anymore. Just extract or export your image to your local document and then use it in your VS Code. Okay?
So I have another question. So where are we exporting from?
Okay, Ati. I thought you saw me how to export just now. Did you do the last task? Wait, did you do the last task?
Yes, I did it. I was graded.
Now, the same way you exported.
Yes, I did.
The same way you exported from that Figma. That's the same way. It's like this. It's very simple. This is the image you want to export. Click on it till you get to that image. Come to export here and then preview. This is the image. Just click on export. It's very easy. If you don't understand that, people will explain to you on the Discord channel. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Charles. Okay, Charles.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Please, can you drop this Figma link so we can start working on it now?
You guys want to go and cheat? Okay. I'll do that. I'll drop it on the group chat. Okay. Okay. Jizzy, your question.
All right, thank you. My question is the assignment dropping today?
Yeah, the assignment is dropping today. Yeah, the assignment will drop today. Yeah. Okay, that means I won't need to drop the link. I don't want to drop the link on the group chat. Okay, I won't do that.
So since the assignment will be dropping today, before 5 o'clock, right? It's going to drop before 5 o'clock. So we can now go there, and then we are all in stage 2, right? Are we now seeing stage 2? If you can see stage 2, please raise your hand if you are in stage 2.
We are in stage 2. I'm in stage 2.
Okay, that's fine. So if you're in stage 2, you'll be able to see the assignment, the task, and then you can go there and click on the link to access this Figma page. So that's it.
I'm talking about the description. There will be a description, right?
Yeah, there will definitely be a description on how to go about it. There will be a description. All right, thank you, sir. Okay, thank you, everyone. Chidel, what do you want to say? Say it.
I have not been promoted in the LMA. I don't know why.
You've not been promoted. What do you score? Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Send me a DM. Send me a DM. I will know why. Maybe you did not. The cutoff mark is 75. If you did not make up to 75, you won't be promoted. So you have to rework your code and then make it look nice before you can be promoted, or you can be regraded. So that's the thing. Okay, if you're in, what's up?
Yes, I have a question.
All right.
I have not been upgraded too.
Upgraded or promoted?
Promoted. Sorry, I have not been promoted.
Submitted your task, right?
I submitted my tax, but I didn't get the 75%.
Okay, and that means just DM me, then I will tell you what to do, right? If you look at our design and then you see what you submitted, you see that it is not really nice. You can actually reach out to people on how to go about it. They will help you out. Okay, that's why I did not just give you that score to make you feel bad. I give you the score so that you go and rework your code. I want everybody to promote. Just try as much as possible to reach out to Charles or maybe anybody. Just ask, Ayo Kenny is very good. Charles is good. Baraka can help you. Anybody can help you. Even David. I'm looking for this, my guy. Obashe Sonya can help you. Okay, so reach out to anyone of them to help you out. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Ati, do you still have a question? Your hand is raised. I believe I answered you already.
No, sir, I don't.
All right. Thank you very much, guys, and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for waiting this long. Well, yeah, thank you very much. We'll meet again at night. I think we used to meet by 9. So let's try as much as possible. I may not be available to explain to you guys. It could be Ayo, it could be anybody who wants to do it. All right. So then the person, I'll be there on the call, but I may not be the one to explain any of this thing. So the person, I don't know, anybody who will be available to explain to us how to go about it, I will appreciate that. So have a good night, and we'll meet again at night. Feel free to drop your concerns on Discord channel and chat me up if you have any issue concerning your code. Thank you very much. Good night. Good night. Oh,
thank you.
Okay, yeah. Good day. Oh man, today has been shit. Oh god.